What's going on, guys? Fuller here from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and today you get a rare look at me actually wearing glasses, because I usually don't do this in videos, but it's getting dark out, we're running out of light, but we do want to bring you a quick video on our first impressions of the Ford Ranger. This is the brand new one that they've had in like Australia and whatnot, but we finally got it here, and this particular one is actually running a prototype 3.5-inch rough country lift and on some 285/55 R20 tires and I believe XD wheels. I'm not sure, I didn't actually look. But we're going to drive around a little bit and kind of get a feel for what this vehicle is. I know, just jumping into it right away, it's pretty familiar as a typical Ford vehicle. It almost has like a Ford Fusion sort of interior, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you do see pretty like hard materials here, a little cheaper plastic as far as like trim pieces, but the seats are actually really nice. They're cloth seats, but they are soft, pretty comfortable, and I mean, overall, it looks like any other Ford, so nothing really surprising here, but just kind of explaining a little bit about what we see. Steering wheel is wrapped in a pretty nice soft leather, so I'm glad to see that, especially if you drive a lot like I do. It's important to have a good feeling steering wheel. And then power-wise, this particular one that we're driving has the 2.3-liter EcoBoost, so that's the same engine that you're going to see in vehicles like the Mustang. So turbocharged 4-cylinder, and it actually gets up and goes pretty decent. I'm not going to say that it's fast, however, compared to other vehicles in the class like Toyota, it is definitely noticeably quicker. One thing I hate is the automatic start-stop feature, but the good news is there's a button and you can turn that off, so not a problem there. One of the things I noticed when I was out driving it before, I actually took it, I guess you could say, off-road. It was really just a gravel road, but I was playing around a little bit with the terrain management system, which is something that I didn't expect to see in the regular Ranger. It's rumored that there's going to be a Raptor Ranger. We've kind of seen pictures of it from outside of the country, but it hasn't been to the States yet. We just got this one, so we can't be too eager to get that yet. But it does still have terrain management of normal, snow, grass, gravel, mud, ruts, and sand. So there's a whole bunch of different options actually. Whether they work or not, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to test out every single one of these features. This is a dealership truck. It's only got 100 miles on it, so we're going to try not to beat on it too much, but we do just want to see what this thing is about. As far as power, when I mentioned a little bit before that it has that same motor as the EcoBoost Mustang does. It feels more at home in this than it does in the Mustang. I've driven that before too, and it didn't seem right to have a 4-cylinder in a Mustang that just doesn't make the V8 sound that you're expecting. In this, I mean, that doesn't really have the best exhaust note either, but it does sound better in here than it does in a Mustang. I would have really liked to see like the 3.5-liter EcoBoost in here. That would have been a ton of power, probably too much power for the truck, so I understand why they don't put it in there, and maybe they're holding on to that for the Raptor Ranger. But if you put your foot to the floor, you know, that's a 40 roll up to about 65, and it's actually pretty decent. There's a little bit of turbo lag that you're going to notice, like you do with most cars. Because this is a 4-cylinder, it takes just a little bit longer to spool. But other than that, I mean, it drives really nice, and even with this 3.5-inch rough country kit on here, I didn't get a chance to drive it stock, so this isn't going to be a comparison of stock versus now lifted. However, I don't have any complaints with how it drives. I could definitely daily drive this. Comparing it to the Toyota Tacoma, I recently drove one of those as well, the manual 5-speed, and it was fun to drive because it was a stick, but it really lacked in power. You know, I was giving it like half throttle getting on the on-ramps, and I was like, okay, this truck isn't that bad. So then I punched it and put it to the floor and realized that it didn't really have any more get up and go at full throttle as compared to half throttle. This thing actually does put you back in your seat a little bit, even at like a 40 roll. And from a dig, it's even better, obviously. If you punch the gas, it's going to downshift and kick in, and away you go. We're spinning tires, sliding her sideways, and it's a blast to drive. It's actually really fun for a truck. You do get more of a sporty feeling, and the seatbelt light keeps dinging because Cobb, the camera guy, just refuses to put his seatbelt on, even though I have. So we're now at the new facility that Rough Country just purchased. We're going to pull the vehicle inside, probably film some epic rollers, and then we'll kind of close this out and kind of give you our final thoughts on the first impression of the brand new Ranger. Alright guys, so now looking at the exterior of the brand new Ranger, you can see that it kind of like pulls styling from multiple different trucks that are on the market, and then also pulls in some car things too. I heard some people saying that the front end sort of resembles a Mustang. This particular one is the XLT trim, so what you'll see is it's got like color match fenders, color match bumpers, color match grille, and then detail wise, the trim pieces or accent pieces are painted in this like metallic silver color, so kind of cool to break it up a little bit. This like dark gray metallic actually looks really nice on here. It's got black housing headlights. You've got Ranger basically stamped into the grille here, so just a couple neat features to point out. If we come over to look at the wheel and tire setup, I know that's what everybody's going to be wondering, as well as suspension. So like I said, this is the brand new 3.5-inch rough country kit that was to be released very soon. Probably by the time this video goes up, it's actually out, because we're probably gonna hold off until it really gets posted. But as far as what you can fit, these particular wheels, I know it's dark in here, so I got a flashlight. This is a 20x9 plus 30 is what the guys are telling me, wrapped in a 285/55 R20. So on the smaller kit, like the leveling kits, like the 2-inch or 2.5-inch, you can actually fit this with like some major trimming. But on the 3.5-inch, you can basically fit it with no trimming. The only thing you have to watch out for is up in here. So Ford on the F-150s has crash bars, and then on the Ranger, they sort of have a crash bar here, and then there's this plastic cap. With this size wheel and tire setup at full crank in reverse, you can catch the screws and pop these out, so you just have to watch for that. But with a little bit of plastic trimming, you can take care of that, as well as the lower valence here. I'd probably end up cutting the corner of this off, just have a little more clearance to fit a more aggressive wheel and tire setup. Or if you had something that had a negative offset or less positive offset and you push that wheel and tire setup out, that's when you're gonna wanna get in a little bit of trimming. If you look straight down the front here, as far as fitment goes, straight down the front here, as fitment goes, Cobb, you'll see that this sits relatively close to flush. I'm gonna say it's probably about 3/4 of an inch outside of these OEM fenders here. So you get a little bit of stance, a little bit of aggressive look, but definitely nothing that, you know, you're used to seeing from us when you have like 14 wides or something like that where they stick out 6 inches. Then again, if you're setting one of these up, you're probably going more for a little bit of like an off-road look. At least that's what I could picture doing it. I don't know if I'd get one of these and go like full stanced out on it. As far as other features of the truck, there's not really a ton to mention since it is primarily stock. It does have the power rear window, which most Fords are now coming with. This is the FX4 package. Taillights are pretty cool. They got these like basically LED bars. Some interesting design there. And then out back along the tailgate, you'll see it does have Ranger. It's pressed into that tailgate as well. So that kind of gives you a look at the exterior, a couple features of the brand new Ranger, and then also showing you the fitment. There's going to be a lot of people wondering what fits on these trucks or what they can do to make bigger wheels and tires fit. So if you're wondering what fits your vehicle, you can come up to the gallery, customoffsets.com/gallery. We'll get as many vehicles loaded in there as we possibly can. And as people start buying Rangers, start tinkering with these, we'll get them in there for you. Peace.